Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Whether you're tuning in on the radio dial in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM, we welcome you. All those joining us through our online affiliates around the world, we're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome back to our program today actor Philip Boyd. He's an individual who we've gotten to know over the past few years as the character Oscar on the hit show on the Oprah Winfrey Network, The Haves and the Have-Nots. But Philip is really having an amazing year this year. We're going to talk to him not only about the new season of The Haves and the Have-Nots, but also some other great projects he's a part of, as much as he can tell you guys about that. But also what it's been like for him, as we've talked about before, about being able to have the goals for ourselves and then, of course, to be able to see those goals realized. Of course, Philip definitely has a large fan base. We'll talk to him about that and what it's been like for him to connect with them through social media. And then at the end of the segment, we'll let you guys know how you can stay connected with him as well. Philip, hello to you, man, and welcome back to the program.
Hey, Cyrus. It's good to be back, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, look, the pleasure's definitely all mine. I was just sharing with you, of course, we are kicking off our 14th year this week, and, I'm so excited to be able to do it with you and some other great guests. And, as I am celebrating, what has been a milestone for me, you are celebrating many milestones, it seems like, over the past few years. They really began long before that, and we'll talk about that. But let's talk about 2017 already, Philip. I mean, as I said, you have a lot of great things you've been working on. What has it been like for you to kind of see how everything seems to be falling into place for you?
I guess you really can't say that things are falling in place until you actually have done it, and then you look back and see the pieces where they have fallen. Because it's always a struggle. It's always not a struggle, I wouldn't say, but a hustle in the sense of you never know when your next job is going to be. So you're always got your ear to the ground and talking to as many people as you can and working on your craft and working on other areas in your life. And you get to a point where you just feel like, I think the real trick is to feel more, just getting more grounded and feeling more confident in your work.
Yeah.
So it's been a big learning time for me, but in the most positive way whatsoever.
Right. Now, I was just going to say, for you, as I'm looking at, the past 14 years, even before, I began the show, you have been able to be part of some amazing projects over the years, Philip, whether it's for television or movies, and then, of course, to kind of see it all come full circle for you. I know, you have a crazy schedule these days, but I've asked you this question before, but I'm curious now, since the last time you and I spoke, are you able to now more reflect on how you got to where you are today and those little milestones that you had over the years that have kind of made where you are today possible?
Yeah, I have. I saw something online the other day about two people got into an argument or something, and the one, they didn't really get into an argument. Some guy was spouting off some very nasty things to one guy, and he came over and he started talking to him, and it was a huge lesson in the fact of the guy says, listen, I didn't come from hardly anything in life, and I've made it to where I'm at now because of my hard work and also being the best person that I can be. And it was a huge thing for me to hear because I look at that and I go, okay, every time I go out and meet somebody, have a meeting, have a performance, whatever else that happens, I want to be the best Philip Boyd that I can be. I want to wake up every day and be the best Philip Boyd and present the best Philip Boyd to the world, to every person that I meet, because this business is all about building relationships and building trust. And when people can trust you that you're going to be the best person that you can be, show up and do hard work and not be a nuisance to the cast or to society, then people respect that and people can count on you for that. So, my advice to people that are struggling out there or trying to make a difference in their own lives and people's lives around them, go out and be the best person that you can be, and I guarantee you're going to see results.
Right. Right. And those results, I think, come sometimes when we least expect it. And I think a lot of times, too, Philip, I think in a larger sense, our audience should appreciate the fact that a lot of times we don't even realize how where we are is going to help us down the road. And, I think, for you, I mean, as you've kind of, as I said, you've been a part of so many great projects over the years. And now, of course, to kind of be up front and center, literally, I mean, in a role like Oscar and the Haves and Have-Nots. And, I noticed even on social media, of course, you posted about, the great recognition that another project that you were able to be a part of on FX, I was able to get. I mean, it definitely has to be Pinchme moments. And to work with the individuals that you're able to work with, talk to us about that aspect, because, of course, on, as series regulars, on the Haves and Have-Nots, you have an amazing ensemble there. But what has it been like for you now in these other projects that also work with other talented casts?
You're talking about the series Feud, Ryan Murphy's series Feud.
Right. Yeah.
That, Susan Sarandon and Jessica Lange were a part of, and, Stanley Tucci and so many others. To be a part of that was incredible. We actually filmed that, the scene that I was in, where I played Maximilian Schell, we filmed that in the actual location where they filmed the 1963 Oscars and relived that entire night. It was surreal to be a part of that. You're standing there on stage with Jessica Lange and, talking to Susan Sarandon and Catherine Zeta-Jones and Ryan Murphy is directing you. It's like, okay, well, this is pretty amazing. So that was real to be a part of. And this is my first series that I've been a part of that's been nominated for an Emmy. So that's really exciting.
Exactly. To tie into that, on April the 2nd on Instagram, Philip, you actually posted the picture, of course, from that scene that you were in, and you wrote this with the caption, "Pretty surreal moment when you're handing an Academy Award to one of the best actresses of our time, portraying one of the best of that time." And I think, it really goes to those Pinchme moments that we all talk about. And it goes back to how you and I first connected on this program, Philip, too, and that is about the why. Because I think for a lot of people, as they're discovering what their why is and what they want to do in life, they also have to remember, what are they willing to give up? What are they willing to commit? When did you know that you were willing to commit? To commit to the no's, commit to, the roles that, people may not remember in order to get to where you wanted to go?
Well, I don't pay attention to the no's. I just don't. I set out to do something. I came out to California 23 years ago, and it's been, ups and downs, and I think I'm on the way up now with my career because, of mainly because of Tyler Perry and the opportunity that he gave me to be a part of, the haves and the have-nots. Since then, I think, it's just a matter of, God, the no's just, I make you stronger. They make you work harder. So I guess me not paying attention to them now just know that the universe has something bigger in store for me, and I just allow that to, take shape of however it's going to take shape.
Yeah. Did you always believe, Philip, that if you did your best and you committed to it, that the payoff would come?
This is what I know. I know that all I can do is what I can do. I can't be somebody else. I can't try to do something that I'm not or be something that I'm not. Inside of me, I have, the ability to act, and I'm very grateful that I've had this opportunity to play these roles and to be a part of these projects. And I know at the end of the day, I'm not a Gary Oldman. I know I'm not a Daniel Day-Lewis. I keep stretching and trying to be the best actor that I can be. And where that takes me is, yet to be seen because, we're still in the thick of it. It's not over yet. So it's just a matter of just working hard and giving the best that I can give.
Right. And I think that's definitely what we've been able to see. For those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome back to our program today actor Philip Boyd. We're talking to Philip not only about, of course, the success of the hit show on the Oprah Winfrey Network, The Haves and the Have-Nots, and don't worry, we're about to talk more about that, but also just about this year he's been able to have, the projects he's been able to be a part of, and also the things that are yet to come. And I love the fact that you've now said 3 times, Philip, in this conversation that, the best has not come yet. basically, that there is still more to come. And I think that attitude is so important for anybody, especially, though, I think in the entertainment industry, though, I think to have that attitude definitely has to be great. One of the things that has definitely happened with you, and I think we've seen it in those who have connected with you online in particular, is that you have really built this tribe around yourself. Has that been surprising for you that, here you are, especially on this show now, the haves and have-nots, and these individuals around the world, they look forward to seeing you, they look forward to interacting with you, and they're genuinely excited for you. Even in the caption that I read back in April, the comments that were there about how happy they were for you, congratulating you. I mean, has that been one of the things that has definitely made this journey worthwhile?
Man, I'm telling you, you never know what kind of response you're going to get. And not being in the limelight or not being in having a social media presence before this, you don't really know. I mean, before social media came about, you don't know what people are thinking. And social media is a great thing because you get the chance to see what people are thinking. And a lot of times people, you can't read everything because some of the fans think it's real life and
right.
They get upset with the things that you do. You just kind of have to ignore that. That's just your character that done that. Now, as far as seeing all the wonderful, wonderful comments and the support that I've gotten, I couldn't be more excited. I am so happy and I'm so proud to have the fans like I do have, and I'm just so thankful to be a part of something like this and to have the support that I do get. So many people out there in the world that I've never met, and hopefully one day we'll get the opportunity to meet sometime.
Exactly, for sure. Now, we have to talk about Oscar, of course, Philip, because people will be upset with me if we don't talk about him a little bit, and the evolution that he has been able to take on the show, for sure. Definitely the Oscar that we see in 2017 is so different than the Oscar that we were initially introduced to. First of all, can you believe it's now been, what is this, 3 years now that we've been able to get to know this character? I mean, what has that been like for you to kind of see the arc that this character has taken?
It's been really interesting. It's funny because Tyler Perry and I were just having this conversation before we started this last filming of the next season. He said to me, he goes, you were initially supposed to be in the haves and the have-nots for 10 episodes. That's it. That's all I had, you written in for, was 10 episodes. And I think you've now done like 49 or something like that. He goes, so it's been a pleasure to write for you and to see your character evolve the way that it has. With that being said, it's been a joy to play. It's been fun to work with Tika Sumter and have that battle go between us two, and she's doing great things, and I think when you work with people they're doing great things, it just rubs off on you and it makes you want to be a better actor and a better person all around, and just so many wonderful things have come out of that show. And to see, I watch it every Tuesday night with the fans. I try my best to if something else isn't going on. Unfortunately, this year I've been super busy. And I haven't been able to tweet with the fans like I normally have been able to because I was filming a movie the last 3 weeks. So I haven't been able to watch it as much. But I did get a chance to watch it on, the recording. And I really like it. I really like, the intensity that Oscar's bringing this year.
Right. Well, one thing I wanted to bring up from this season already, the first time that we're able to kind of see you, you're with, the very talented Peter Perros and John Schneider, and then, of course, Tika, is there with you all. To have you all in that close vicinity, what was that like for you to see? The fact that not only, of course, here you were with the individuals who, have hired you, as far as the character goes, and then, of course, this nemesis in Tika, and of course, Candace, I guess I should say, being able to be there with them and to be able to perform together. What was that like for you?
Well, yeah. So, me growing up, I used to watch Dukes of Hazzard a lot. And to be able to work with one of my childhood heroes, John Schneider, and be there in the same room with him and doing the same thing that he's been doing for all these years, and to be a part of that, collaboration was really cool, man. I think I was nervous the first time that I got a chance to work with John just because, I had known him for so long through the television, not as a person, but I got to know him as a person. Him and I played golf a lot together when I was back there in Georgia filming, and we really got the chance to know one another, and it made it easier for me working with him because I have a lot more with him coming up that the fans are yet to see. But a lot of it gets really, really cool, and we have a good thing go on, and I couldn't have been happier with the way it turned out.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say, because I don't want to, try to put you in a position where we're going to, give anything away that we're not supposed to be giving away. I know you wouldn't tell me anyway, but I don't want to ask anything I'm not supposed to be asking. but
okay.
I mean, one thing that we do know so far from this season is that, and even from last season, is that you are kind of the fixer on this series. You're the guy that people go to when there's a problem. I mean, what has that been like for you? Philip, to realize that is kind of the role you've been a part of. You did it for David on behalf of, of course, the character, Jim. Now here you have Jim coming to you again. Hey, I have this person you need to find. What has that been like for you to kind of see how your character's kind of played that role?
It's been a challenge only because, with Tika, the whole thing getting her money, that was fine, and I took care of that. But now, Oscar's trying to get her to work with him, and some people after they get burned are very, very reluctant to step back into any sort of deal with you. So it's been a fight of trying to get her to work with me, and it will continue to be, I think. And the Wyatt thing that's coming up with John, that's a challenge in itself as well. Tyler Perry never made it easy because I think without any sort of conflict, the story doesn't really evolve. So, it's been fun to navigate all these conflicts and find out a way to make things happen the way they're supposed to happen.
Yeah. Well, to tell you, it's been great to watch, and I think, it definitely, and this season, and we don't have to get into this part, Philip, but I have to say, this season felt different for me when it began. And what I mean by that as a viewer, and then, of course, as someone who's watched it from the very first season, it seems as though, how when you're into something and you kind of reach a stride, and this season has been flowing, and I've heard other people talk about this too. And I'm sure you've seen the comments about it too. It just seems as though, we all have kind of joked about how one season takes place in like 3 days. Sometimes it seems like. But this season has seemed to flow in such a way that it's such a beautiful dance to watch, on television. And I love that aspect of it. Do you? And I brought that up for this reason. Where you are now, and you brought up a really good point about just being the best of yourself. And I think that is great for our audience to realize, no matter what their profession is or what their passion is, to not worry about being anybody else but themselves. But do you feel as though with everything that's happening now that you're kind of in that flow, you're kind of in that stride where you realize, what you're able to bring to the table, and that is what you're walking in?
No doubt. I think that, with a show like The Haves and the Have-Nots, these people that have been there working together since the beginning have definitely, they know what to expect when they show up to set. They know how Tyler Perry works, and they know how they work with each other. So you show up and you kind of hit a stride in that sort of sense of like being together and forming a family of sorts, to where you come in and you know what to expect and how to navigate through each day. And I think that's the reason why the show's hit a stride. And also because Tyler Perry also started in a new studio this past season, I believe as well. What you're seeing now is in his new studio. And anytime you have a new energy, a new studio like that, I think things just kind of escalate in the sense of like you feel like you need to bring, something better, you need to do better because this guy's putting all this money and all this energy into creating something new and exciting for the fans. And I think we all are so appreciative of the fans that we want to give them the best performances that we have to offer. Crystal Fox put on a performance this year that should win an Emmy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that show doesn't get recognized for that. So that's tough.
Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, there have been so many powerful moments in this, in this show, and so much loss. I think, and Tyler's not afraid to kill people off, and we've seen it.
No, he's not.
And
no, he's not.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing too that makes it something for us to watch. You never know, and when the promo says you don't know where he's going to take you, you really don't know. So, as a segue to that, then Philip, let's talk about yourself, because as you said, you've been working on other projects. What can you tell us about some of the things that we should be looking out for?
The film I just finished, I can't talk about that only because I was contractually obligated not to say anything about that, unfortunately.
Okay.
God, there's a couple of things coming up too that I'm not allowed to talk about either. I wish I could. I think there's a movie called Do You See Me that I'm in that will be coming out around Halloween. It's kind of a scary clown type thriller. And it went to Cannes Film Festival, and I think it did pretty well out there. So we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, I wish I could talk about the two projects that are coming up. The one I just finished, I think I'll be able to post about that in social media probably like around 3 or 4 months from now. Okay. So I'll be definitely posting on my social media about that when it comes out.
That sounds great. Well, look, that gives us a reason then to ask this question then, Philip. Let our audience know then how they can stay connected with you on social media.
Well, on Instagram, I'm at Philip K. Boyd. That's my handle on Instagram, and my handle on Twitter at Philip K. Boyd, and that's PhilipKBoyd. And that's for Philip Keith Boyd. My middle name is Keith. So that's the reason for the K. So make sure you're definitely staying connected with Philip, and we'll be making sure to tag him, of course, with this conversation as well. Philip, it's always great to be able to talk with you. I'm so excited for you, and not only, of course, for the cast that haves and have-nots, but also, all the great projects you've been able to do. You and I have talked about several, aspects of this journey for you. We know that it has not always been easy, and as you said, even in this conversation, every day brings its own challenges, but it's great to be able to see the way you've been able to rise to those challenges and to show other people by example how they can do the same thing. And I think that's the thing. You even said to me in our last interview, and the one we had in person actually last year, about that being an inspiration to other people, showing them what's possible. Is that also one of the things that really makes this journey sweeter for you? It is. I have a lot of people that reach out and ask me, what any advice I can give or any sort of help I can give to people. And I can't always give to everybody. And I hope that, the things that I post on my Instagram and on Twitter are inspiring in their own right. Sometimes, I know they're not always inspiring, but, I think coming into this part of my life right now, I've really taken on the responsibility of giving back and trying to help out and trying to be better than I was in my 20s and in my 30s. And it just, everybody has issues and everybody goes through things, and it's just a matter of how you deal with those issues and overcome those things that make you stronger and more resilient, and also just more understanding and of how life isn't always fair. And it doesn't always have to be perfect. Life doesn't always have to be perfect. It has to be perfect for you and what you're giving. So anytime you can go out there and just be the best person and smile and help other people out. This world that we're living in right now is so hectic, it seems. And I just wish somehow I could, give a smile to somebody out there that needs one, or give a hug to somebody out there that needs one, to say, hey, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Tomorrow the sun's going to rise, and we're going to wake up, and we're going to give our best again. And I hope that's just something in that people can hear and say, yeah, like even me as an actor, people might think that I have the best of everything, and I'm this and that. And I'm a human being just like everybody else, and I'm going through my stuff just like everybody else, and I'm choosing to take the positive route rather than feeding into the negativity and just believing that everything is going to be okay, and it will be okay in its time, that it will be okay. Doesn't have to be now, doesn't have to be tomorrow, but I know that things will be all right.
Yeah. Again, that's a great reminder for us, Philip. Again, no matter where we might find ourselves, to remember that, that where we are does not have to be perfect. And really a lot of that has to do with us, as you said, and then, of course, being able to move along with the circumstances, too. And I think taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented to us, you've been able to do that. And really, I think that's what it is. I mean, being able to realize that, as you said, it's not going to happen overnight, but it really is a process, and being able to go with the process is what it's all about. Again, everyone, Philip Boyd has been our guest. Another great conversation with you, Philip. Make sure you all are staying connected with him on Twitter and Instagram. You can find him at Philip K. Boyd, so make sure you all are staying connected with him there. Of course, the Haves and the Have-Nots is on the Oprah Winfrey Network. That's on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central for us here in Mississippi, so make sure you guys are looking out for that. And, Philip, congratulations to you again, man, and we will definitely be staying connected with your social media to keep up what's coming up next for you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Hey, man, the pleasure is definitely all mine always, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Philip, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites, so head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go over to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share it with your friends from there, too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.